Have you ever stopped to wonder what sin actually looks like? I don't mean just as a concept, but as a physical, almost grotesque reality. Well, today we're going on a journey deep into the medieval imagination to basically dissect a soul. We're going to uncover a symbolic anatomy that is, let me tell you, as disturbing as it is profound. It all kicks off with an image you just can't unsee: worms in the chest. But this isn't just for shock value, it's a diagnosis. This incredibly visceral quote comes from a medieval text, the Revelations of Saint Brigida of Sweden, and it really sets the stage for a unique look at the human condition. So the vision describes this man who, from the outside, looks like he has it all. You know the type. He's handsome, well-dressed, powerful. But what we're about to do is a kind of spiritual autopsy. We're going to peel back that shiny surface to reveal a soul that's been twisted and deformed by the life he's chosen. To the rest of the world, this guy is a picture of success. But when God removes the helmet, which is really his public persona, right? What's underneath is described as just plain ugly and disgusting. And this isn't about physical looks, it's about the real state of his soul. And the diagnosis gets unbelievably specific. The man's nose is described as dissevered, basically cut off. Now, this symbolizes a loss of his spiritual sense of smell. Think about it. He can no longer distinguish the foul stench of vice from the sweet fragrance of virtue. He literally can't tell the difference between some fleeting pleasure and true eternal joy. And it keeps going. Get this, his arms aren't even arms anymore. They're snakes. This powerful imagery is telling us that his actions, everything he does in the world, is venomous. He's using his power not to build things up, but to strike out with malice, harming innocent people and hiding his real motives behind a wall of lies. This whole breakdown just shows how every single part of his spiritual body tells a story of his choices. A bare brain that points to a mind just filled with foolishness. Eyes on his forehead that shows a man who only looks upward for his own pride, for praise. His back is like burnt coal because he has zero patience, no ability to endure any hardship for a greater good. It's a truly comprehensive and, frankly, terrifying vision of a soul eaten away by sin. Okay, so if a soul is this corrupted, you have to ask, why doesn't God just get rid of it? Well, this vision isn't just about judgment. It's also this incredibly deep theological exploration of what mercy really is. It's the most logical question, isn't it? Why let this kind of evil just persist? The text gives this fascinating threefold answer that really tries to explain the divine perspective on suffering, patience, and even the role that evil plays in the grand scheme of things. So here are the three reasons. First, God holds off on punishment to give the sinner a chance to repent. Makes sense. Second, and this is a really interesting idea, the text says a healthier nature actually suffers more, so mercy is a kind of divine patience. And third, in a twist that gets at that age-old problem of evil, the wickedness of some people can actually serve to strengthen the virtue of others, forcing good people to become even better. So where is all this corruption coming from? What's the source? The vision is incredibly clear about this. The Virgin Mary herself appears and points to the origin of all this monstrous deformity, the one, all-consuming sin of pride. And pride isn't just one thing, it's a path, a whole progression of self-destruction that's symbolized by three gates. At the first gate, the worldly praise you get for your pride actually starts tearing your soul apart. The second is a fire that melts you down. And the third? Well, the third gate is an eternal fire with no rest. The absolute dead end of a life lived only for yourself. This brings us right to the great conflict at the heart of this entire vision. On one side, you've got pride, the root of all evil. And on the other, you have its exact opposite, humility. And humility is even given a face, that of the Virgin Mary, who in the vision literally calls herself the one who is most humble. So, after showing us the disease in horrifying detail, the vision gives us the cure. We shift away from that monstrous sinner to a completely new, beautiful image, the bride of Christ, whose soul is decorated not with worldly junk, but with the shining jewels of virtue. And here we see that powerful counter-image. The Queen of Heaven appears, and she's wearing a crown set with 7 gems. See, unlike the sinner whose features reflected his inner corruption, her jewelry is the outward sign of her inner perfection. So what are these gems? They're the 7 core virtues. You've got humility, the perfect antidote to pride, fear, not of the world, but of God. Then there's obedience,
patience, steadfastness, kindness, and mercy. Each one of these gems is a virtue that, when you cultivate it, heals and beautifies the soul.
So what is the final diagnosis? What is this incredible, intense vision trying to tell us about how we should live our lives? It really all boils down to a radical rethink of what we consider valuable.
This quote from the visionary herself really just says it all. After she's witnessed both the horror of a soul eaten up by worldly ambition and the beauty of a soul adorned with virtue, she makes her choice. She completely rejects worldly wealth because she now sees it for what it is, a dangerous distraction from what actually matters.
At the end of the day, this medieval anatomy lesson is teaching us that our inner life is a constant struggle. It's a battlefield between the monstrous potential of pride and the beautiful potential of humility. And in that battle, the only things of real, lasting value are the virtues, those gems that connect us to something eternal. Which, leaves us with a final thought. We don't really talk about monstrous souls and virtuous gems anymore, but we are obsessed with external metrics, followers, net worth, status, all of it. So it's worth asking, if we could see the state of our souls today with that same kind of brutal honesty, what deformities and what jewels might we find?